Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Gold Rush exclusive, Nest Crew breakfast wins and Keno pay losses. Discovery's Gold Rush tonight opens with the most mouth-watering American and Canadian breakfast with sausage, eggs, bacon, and biscuits. But the hearty meal ends with some worries for teen Ness. In the hills above Keno City, population 20, Ness and his small crew are preparing to turn his season around. Despite the biscuits and gravy, French toast, bacon, and sausage feast, Ness is concerned. After sinking over $1 million into his operation, Rick Ness is pressured to stay on the gold. Dead ends and clay dirt are vexing the crew. In TV show's Ace exclusive clip below, Ness says, "Man, we're in trouble. Last week we went the frozen cut, but it was a bust. All we found was clay, and I'm nearly out of pay." He adds, "The creek cut extension here. I really can't afford to shut this wash plant down." The ground in Keno is patchy and hard to read. As a result, Rick's new operator Brennan Ruolt is struggling to follow the pay. He says, "A lot of variables in this ground. Some of this pay I've been digging lately over here doesn't seem that sweet looking. So we hit a really deep clay mud hole, and Rick told me last year when they found some really good gold was that really red-stained rock. But now, I haven't seen any of that red gravel. It's all dark gray." Ruolt checks the box. That doesn't look good. It doesn't look very good at all. The cleanup reveals nothing but tailings. Ruolt must consult with Rick to make a pivot, as the pan reveals loads of sand. One speck of gold in a pan is not good. Ness now must find a place within his claim to start working, which means moving big equipment and dealing with permafrost. The creek-cut pay strip may be on the other side of the valley, and to get there, it will burn up all the calories they all consumed at breakfast. The initial tests show no frost, and Ruolt has really taken it upon himself to be a problem solver for Ness as the test pan is a winner. The strip they head to is shaped like a piece of bacon, as the morning's breakfast made an impression on Ruolt. If Ness wants to beat Schnabel, he has to keep thinking past his immediate problems, and with help from Ruolt and the others, he may ace this season's gold haul. Other Gold Rush crews. Fred Lewis has had a rough start, but now he is testing bedrock. He is optimistic and initial tests prove his hard work is paying off. The issue is the wash plant he needs is 130 miles away from where he is planning to dig. But Lewis is unstoppable, and the all-veteran crew is given the good news. Their last season was a disaster, so any win for Lewis' crew is good news. The wash plant is a 3-hour trip with hills. In addition, some mechanical issues need to be addressed, and all that cost has to be absorbed by Lewis. Tune in to see how Schnabel and Beats are faring too, as the race to get the gold is early in the season. As the sun began its slow ascent over the rugged Alaskan wilderness, the Ness crew was already up and about, their breath visible in the crisp morning air. The early hours of dawn cast a golden hue over the landscape, a fitting prelude to their day's pursuit of precious metal. The gold rush had become more than just a quest for wealth. It was an all-consuming lifestyle, a test of endurance and a measure of a man's grit and resolve. Todd Ness, the grizzled leader of the Ness crew, stood at the edge of their sprawling campsite, his eyes scanning the horizon. Years of prospecting had etched deep lines into his weathered face, but his spirit remained unbroken. Today was a special day. Not only was it another opportunity to strike it rich, but it was also the day of the much-anticipated crew breakfast competition. An age-old tradition, it was a chance for the men to showcase their culinary skills and, perhaps more importantly, to boost morale before a grueling day of work. "All right, boys, gather round." Todd's voice rang out, cutting through the early morning stillness. The crew members, a motley group of seasoned miners and eager newcomers, assembled around the makeshift cooking area. The smell of sizzling bacon and brewing coffee filled the air, mingling with the earthy scent of the forest. Leading the charge was Big Jim, a mountain of a man with a heart as vast as the Alaskan tundra. His secret weapon was a cast iron skillet passed down from his grandfather, a seasoned prospector himself. Today, it was put to good use, frying up a hearty mess of potatoes, onions, and sausage. "Jim, if your breakfast is half as good as it smells, I might just declare you the winner right now," Todd quipped, a twinkle of amusement in his eyes. Next up was young Billy, the greenhorn of the group, who had spent the previous night poring over his grandmother's pancake recipe. With a determination that belied his age, he flipped each pancake with precision, his face a mask of concentration. "Don't worry, Billy. Even if you burn them, we won't hold it against you," teased Dave, the crew's resident jokester, as he stirred a pot of thick oatmeal. The atmosphere was light-hearted, filled with banter and camaraderie. Despite the hardships they faced daily, moments like these reminded them why they persevered. Breakfast was more than just a meal. It was a ritual that bonded them together, fortifying their resolve for the challenges ahead. As the sun climbed higher, the breakfast spread was finally ready. The crew gathered around the table, their plates heaped with an assortment of delicious offerings. Todd, serving as the unofficial judge, sampled each dish with exaggerated seriousness, much to the amusement of the others. After much deliberation and a few more bites of Jim's potatoes, Todd declared, "Well, gentlemen, I have to say it's a tough call, but the winner of today's breakfast competition is Big Jim. Your skillet has done it again." Cheers and laughter erupted as Jim accepted his victory with a modest grin. The crew's spirits were high, bolstered by good food and good company. But the day's work awaited, and they knew the road to fortune was paved with sweat and determination. With breakfast behind them, the crew geared up and headed to their latest dig site. The ground was stubborn and unyielding, but so were they. Hours passed, each swing of the pickaxe a testament to their resolve. The sun beat down relentlessly, but the promise of gold spurred them on. By late afternoon, the crew's efforts began to pay off. The telltale glint of gold flecks in the sluice box brought shouts of excitement. They had struck a promising vein, one that could potentially yield a significant payoff. Todd watched with pride as his men worked with renewed vigor, their eyes gleaming with the prospect of riches. However, the gold rush was a fickle mistress. For every success, there were countless setbacks. As the crew celebrated their find, Todd couldn't help but think of the Keno, a notorious section of their claim that had proven more trouble than it was worth. Despite numerous attempts, they had yet to extract any substantial amount of gold from it. It was a constant thorn in their side, a reminder of the capricious nature of their pursuit. Evening descended, casting long shadows across the camp. The crew gathered around the fire, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. The mood was a mix of triumph and trepidation. They had tasted success, but the Keno loomed large in their minds. "Tomorrow, we tackle the Keno again," Todd announced, his voice steady. "We've had our wins today, but we can't ignore the losses. We'll figure it out, together." The crew nodded in agreement, their resolve unshaken. They knew the road ahead was uncertain, but they also knew they could count on each other. The gold rush was more than just a quest for wealth. It was a journey that tested their mettle and forged unbreakable bonds.